The influence for this book was much more autobiographical than I liked to admit at the beginning of the Imperial Bedrooms tour. If I did not want my books to be turned into movies, I did not have to take the money. I just don't like the pettiness of most writers. I find most writers insufferable. The reason I've sold myself on being back in Los Angeles, the casting of The Listeners is underway. But really, coming back to the city is an excuse to escape New York and whatever had happened to me there that fall. It's almost 4 in the morning in that apartment below Union Square. And so many people died last year. The accidental overdose, the car wreck in East Hampton, the surprise illness. People just disappeared. I fall asleep to the music coming from the Abbey, a song from the past, hungry like the wolf, rising faintly above the leaping chatter of the club, transporting me for one long moment into someone both young and old. Sadness, it's everywhere.
You moved yourself from LA to from New York back to LA. Was it as threatening and paranoid coming back to LA as it seems?
Yes. It was. It was. It was supposed to be happy.
And it wasn't.
And it wasn't, no. This was going to be a love story. A love story between Kreye and Blair. That's the kind of mood I was in, optimistic. Well, what happened is that I moved to Los Angeles, and I found myself out there very stressed out about what was happening with the film, and that I ultimately decided to betray a friend. At that moment, this book became a different book, and I began to reimagine who Kreye was. And I began to imagine him as someone who would betray a friend.
I think that was the answer we were hoping for.
That was not the answer I wanted to give, but yet, look where I'm at.
Im ersten Moment habe ich ihn gar nicht wiedererkannt. Sein Gesicht ist so unnatürlich glatt, so gestrafft, dass die Augen wie in immerwährender Überraschung aufgerissen sind. Es ist die Parodie eines Gesichtes und es wirkt gequält. Hey, Kreye, sagt Rip, was führt dich zurück in die Stadt? Immerhin wohne ich hier, antworte ich. Rip mustert mich ungerührt mit seiner Visage. Ich dachte, du wärst die meiste Zeit in New York. Ach was, ich bin mal hier, mal dort. Wie ich höre, hast du eine Freundin von mir kennengelernt. Wer soll das sein? Na hallo, sagt er mit einem scheußlichen Grinsen, das viel zu weiße Zähne entblößt. Wie ich höre, habt ihr euch richtig gut verstanden. Ich will nur noch weg. Die Angst breitet sich immer weiter aus. Plötzlich erscheint der schwarze BMW. Rip, ich muss los. Dabei deute ich hektisch auf mein Auto. Lass uns mal essen gehen. Solange du noch hier bist, sagt Rip. Unbedingt. Ja, gern, aber ich muss wirklich los. Descansado, sagt er. Was soll das heißen? Das heißt, bleib ganz locker.
What made me go back to these characters? I don't know. I didn't really want to go back to the characters, and I wasn't necessarily thinking about the movie that much. I was thinking about Kreye. I started to ask questions about where he was, where Kreye was. Where was the 19-year-old boy now? And once those questions started, they really didn't stop, and I began to form a composite, a sketch of who I thought this boy might be now. And that is really how Imperial Bedrooms began. I never woke up one morning and said, okay, what am I going to do next? I guess I'm going to write a sequel to Lesson Zero. Okay, I'll start after lunch. Yeah, okay, I'll make some phone calls and just start the sequel of Lesson Zero after lunch.
Do you miss New York?
No, I don't miss New York at all. Are there moans of like disappointment that I don't miss New York? You know, there was this problem. I always did not feel intelligent enough in New York. I always felt that I was pretending to be smarter than I was, because I was hanging out with writers and editors and all these publishing people, and I really wasn't that interested in all the things that they were interested in, and so I kind of faked it, and then I just really couldn't fake it anymore, and like kind of retracted from it. I never felt that I was smart enough to live there, and I always felt my self-esteem was a little bit lower there because of it. But you know, I moved to Los Angeles, where I feel very, very smart and very intelligent. It was a really, really good move for me. It really boosted my self-esteem, and that's one of the reasons why I like living there.
Hi. For Jesse.
What do you do in a situation when you don't have any ideas anymore?
I read a TV show.
Really?